Hi guys, I've just filmed a few videos, but this I think will be the last one. I want to talk to you guys about my TMJDS journey. So if you look way back to about 7 years ago on my channel, I made videos talking about my jaw condition. I have TMJDS, or temporal mandibular joint dysfunction syndrome, sometimes known as TMD or just TMJ, depends who you ask. But it's always been called TMJDS with me, so that's what I'm calling it. Basically, if you don't know what that is, through stress and just things, my jaw is out of line. I started getting a click in my jaw when I was 16, and they tried to help, but my condition became severe, and the dental hospital who was treating me told me that I was stuck with it for life. There was nothing at all that could be done for it. They discharged me in that same sentence, which was fantastic. You know, you're stuck with it, bye, basically. But after years of suffering, I got help. So way back then, I was terrible for doing pretty much everything that caused it. I was bad for biting my nails. I also had a habit of biting my skin. There's still some scarring on my finger from where I spent years biting the skin. I chewed gum all the time. I was bad for putting the ends of pens or pencils in between my teeth, and those all cause TMJDS because it's overworking your jaw. And mine kind of got stuck like that, I guess. So there is no cure for me. My jaw is in a really bad way. Or at least it was. See, the thing is, back then I was told basically to give up, that there was nothing that could be done for it. I was put on a prescription for painkillers that I'm still taking. Just when I need them though. I try not to take them too much. Purely because I was warned at the time they are addictive, and I know that they are. So I was told to be careful, so I always have been. And I used to use a mouth guard in my sleep. Well, mostly in my sleep. I used to actually prefer to keep it in all the time, and when I first got given one, I was told to use it all the time. But the problem is, dentist's really expensive, and getting one of those made costs a lot. So I don't have one. I have used cheap ones, but they hurt my gums, or they just don't do much. So I've never found anything I like. Just trying to do other things, but the only care I had over the last like 7 years for my jaw was anytime I went to a dentist, they'd be like, so how's the jaw been? And that was it. I was on my own with it, and it caused me a lot of problems. I had to drastically change the way I ate because some things hurt my jaw to try and eat them. Some things I just plain could not get my jaw through, so which was a nightmare to try and work around. Just a lot of experimenting, and I basically gave up hope and just tried to maintain it and do a lot of massaging it with my fingers, which I still do, and try to avoid letting cold wind get to it because it hurts it or anything like that, and try and treat it with heat because that helps it. But that was all. There was nothing to be done about it. And then someone I work with, or someone I did work with a while ago that I'm still in contact with, told me that their wife had some jaw problems and went to a chiropractor for something else and mentioned it and were actually given help. So it was suggested to me, and I thought, right, but it can't be the same condition as I was told. There's nothing to be done about it. But after a while of thinking about it, I reached out to a few chiropractors, and they all insisted on talking on the phone, which I'm not a fan of, so I just kept binning it off. But then one day I braved it, and I called up a chiropractor and spoke to them, and they were fully confident that they could at least do something for it. So I have been seeing a chiropractor for a few months now, and I may have slightly cried when I got off the phone that first time, and I cried when I left my first appointment, because it's just your consultation, really. They have the first look at it and they tell you kind of the plan, what's happening, what the treatment is for it, if anything. And I cried because I was told, even though it can't be fixed, it won't go away. They could certainly ease the pressure, if you like, and work on it so it's easier on me, so it's less painful, so it's more functional. And it doesn't sound like much, but after so many years of struggling with it, it felt like I've been given a miracle. So now, even my chiropractor having that first treatment session was shocked at how bad my jaw is, or was, and basically described it as my jaw has been stuck clenched for years because I was basically taught by a dental hospital to keep my jaw as closed as possible, always. So that's what I did. Turns out that wasn't the best idea. It left me with damage. So I have now had 4 or 5 treatment sessions, and it does cost, but it's worth it. So worth it. And I have a job so I can pay for it. When I first went, I could barely open my jaw. It just wouldn't do it. And to open it at all, it would have a really bad crack and go to one side. So now, thanks to the help I've had of the chiropractor and the exercises that I was given to do, that I do as often as I can, because they work, I can open my mouth. I could barely get more than like a finger width open. And now my mouth opens all the way, which seems like daft, seems like nothing. But when you can't do it, and then you suddenly can, it feels amazing. And my jaw after just that first session felt so much looser. Not fixed, not better, but it just felt so much looser. I could use it so much more already. And the big one, when I try and tell people about my condition, I explain the way the muscles work and things, and they don't really get it. They kind of tune out. It's like, it's boring talk, why would you listen? But when I explained to them that I hadn't been able to eat pizza since I was 16, despite trying different sorts. Well, last night I cried because I had my first pizza in 7 years and I was able to eat it. And it's a tiny thing. Wow, you can eat pizza. That's massive to me. So yes, I still have jaw pain and I still have problems with it. I'm still seeing my chiropractor, we're still working on it. And eventually it should be a point where it'll just be, I don't know how long between they'll need, but it'll just be every once in a while. It'll need maintained. But even that'll be so worth it. So if you happen to have the same condition, then there is help available. If you've been told, like I was, that it's hopeless, go to a chiropractor. And yes, it costs, but they can help. And if you go early and don't let it be too long between that and your diagnosis, then the treatment will be so much easier on you, because it's painful. It's so painful getting the treatment done that I can't believe how much better my jaw is. So yeah, that's the point I'm at now, and I'm so happy with it. So yeah, that is my TMJDS story so far. Feel free if you do have any questions or anything. Yeah, so I feel so much better now. Still in pain, but a lot less. Yeah. Bye guys.